Hello, good evening. Welcome everyone. Today we'll cover some of the key features of Markets Mojo and how you can use the site to gain the maximum out of your subscription. Towards the end, we'll have a Q&A section, and whatever queries you have about the site, about any product, I'll be happy to answer that. Before we start, just a quick disclaimer. Just probably take a minute to read through it. Very important, nothing discussed in the webinar is investment advice. We strongly advise to check with certified experts before taking investment decisions. Investments in securities is subject to market risk, and past performance should not be construed as a guarantee for future. What we'll do today is we'll spend a lot of time on the website and we'll alternate between the presentation and website, but I'll take you through the various features so you can understand that a little better. One very important announcement, we are increasing the prices very soon. So if you are looking to subscribe or extend, we have put very special rates only for people who are in the webinar. Now these links are available on the description of the webinar on the Markets Mojo page, or whether you watch it on YouTube, these links are available. We have brought back very discounted prices of 19,999 for 2 years plus 6 months extra, which is a massive 47% discount. Now you can use these links multiple times. So you can use it once, it increases your subscription by 2.5 years. If you use twice, it becomes 5 years on top of your existing subscription. So if you have 3 years and you use this link twice, it will become 8 years. Now, very important, the prices will increase soon. So these are, you will not find these rates again. So if you're looking to subscribe or extend, please use this. It's only for people who are in the webinar today. So what all we'll cover today in our today's presentation. First, we'll talk about how to research any stock using Markets Mojo, and then how to get the top rated stocks across the universe. Why model portfolio is a great approach to investing. If you're looking for trading calls, how you can find the trading calls on the platform. How you can find top rated mutual funds if you're interested in mutual funds. And how to improve your existing holdings. So first, now we've just taken TD part. Let's say if anyone is looking to invest in a stock, what kind of questions will go through every investor's mind? Is this the right stock? Is this the right time? Does this suit my investment style? Are other people buying the stock, right? And many other questions that anyone will have. To answer these, we created the stock score and the Mojo call on every stock. Now, when we created Markets Mojo, one of the main problems we saw in the market was people were investing basis tips. It's not like they did not want research, there was just no research available. Like a top research house, brokerage house will not have research above the top 100 or 200 stocks. But people wanted this research. We did a study with one of the top brokers in the country and realized that almost 80% of their clients had stocks which are outside their coverage area. So we always said, before taking your investment decision, please come and check on Markets Mojo. So there is because what we are doing is we're doing very deep research on every stock. We're giving you a call on the stock. So at least you're not investing blind. You're taking an informed decision on any call. We put it in a very easy to understand scale of 0 to 100 on any stock, so that you can get an investment call of what we're talking about and why it is a good or a bad stock. Now let's go and see a stock. So let's say I'm on TCS. Whenever you come to a stock, this is the first thing that you will see, what the call on the company is, what is the current score out of 100. Here you will see why this call has been arrived. So what are the factors working or not working for the company? This is what we call the investment dashboard. And when we created Markets Mojo, our whole idea was that once people are comfortable with what we're saying, they should not even go down the first scroll. So they should have all the important information in the first scroll itself. On the right is a research report on the company. We'll cover this a little later. But some key questions. Is TCS for you? What is the risk and return profile of this stock? If you're looking to buy, how much you should be investing in this stock? What have been the returns of this stock? And the key Mojo parameters of quality, evaluation, financial trend, and technicals. Now the score that you see from 0 to 100 is derived from these 4 key Mojo dots. If you come down, this is the price dashboard of what's happening in the stock today. What are the key factors moving for the company? This is a tick by tick commentary that gets generated on every stock. Now let's cover the 4 dots that we were talking about. The first is quality. Now, quality is the long-term fundamental strength of a company. And here what we're looking at is consistency of fundamental performance. Uh, we're not saying that who is the management of the company, or is the company, is the Tata Group company, it's a Ambani company. No. We're looking at all the quantifiable parameters to come out with the quality of a company. There are three key factors. First is the growth, which is the long-term growth in the top line, the bottom line, the operating matrices. Again, consistency of performance is very important here. Second is the capital structure, which essentially is the debt levels of the company, debt serviceability ratios of the company. And third is the management risk. We're looking at quantifiable parameters. What we're essentially saying is if the management of the company is doing a good job, it will automatically reflect in the numbers of the company, right? So company will be growing efficiently for a longer period. Are the profits of the company real? Is the company paying out taxes? The company paying out dividends? What is the level of institutional interest in this company? Are there any inter-party transactions that are happening in the company? So all these factors, there are multiple factors underlying, but they're all are clubbed in these three broad parameters which come out with the quality of the company. Second is the valuation. Now, we have a different way of calculating valuation. We don't just look at, let's say, the P numbers of the company, and above 20 is expensive or below 5 is cheap. No. We always link to three important parameters. First is the fundamentals of the company. So we are saying essentially, if the company is fundamentally strong, it can justify even higher valuation multiples. But if a company is fundamentally weak, it cannot even justify lower valuation multiples. So if for a weak company, we'll say even a P of 2 is expensive. Right? So we always link it to the fundamentals of the company. Second, we look at is versus its own past. Let's say the stock is today trading at a premium, but was it always trading at a premium? Has it become cheaper versus its own past? And third is the peer set. So how is it trading versus its industry versus its peers? These three combine to form the valuation, which we call a relative valuation model, and quality and valuation together combine to form the long-term drivers of the company because they look at slightly longer-term parameters. Next two parameters are the momentum parameters. First is the financial trend, which is the latest result analysis of the company. So on the right, you'll also see a graph on every company, which is how the price has moved versus the financial trend. Now, financial trend is a score that we give, and the score would range from around -30 to +40 for a company. There are various sub ranges like positive, very positive, outstanding, negative, very negative for a company. If you come down, you'll see what are the factors working and not working for the company in this latest result quarter. So financial trend really captures the results momentum of the company. So is the company growing on a quarter-on-quarter basis? So what we're looking here is, I'll give you an example. Let's take sales. Is the sales of the company growing? Is it growing every quarter? Is it, let's say, growing Q on Q, Y on Y, versus its own past, versus the peer set? Then we look at the half-yearly sales, we look at the 9-month sales, look at the annual sales. So multiple parameters, this is just sales that I talked about. We look at all the key parameters across the P&L of the company, the balance sheet of the company, the ratios of the company, cash flows, shareholding, and many other parameters combined to form the results trend of a company, which is the financial trend. The fourth parameter is the price and volume momentum, which is captured in the technicals of the company. Now we look at these 7 key parameters for the technicals. And you see here we mentioned weekly and monthly. So we're not looking at intraday or short-term or target price-based technicals here. We're looking at an investment trend for a company. Now, but when I say weekly, we're not saying that it's only calculated once a week or once a month. It's calculated daily, but it looks at the last week and today. So let's say today is Thursday, so it'll take last Friday and Thursday. And today is 26, so it'll take last month and 26. So it's calculated on a daily basis, but it takes slightly longer term data to form the overall trend of the technicals. Now these 4 dots combine to form the call on the company. That's why we say whenever you're taking a call on any company, it's very important to look at the score, because the score of the company essentially captures these 4 different parameters. Let's say the latest result of the company is bad. So the financial trend will be negative, but doesn't mean the quality will come down with just one result, right? So because that's looking at long-term fundamentals. Similarly, let's say the price of the company is going up. The technicals will start looking more and more bullish, but the valuation will start looking more and more expensive, right? So these 4 parameters combine very beautifully together and looking at different areas of a company's fundamentals to come out with a call on the company. Now, how the page is structured is all the summary is on the left while all the details are on the right. So if you keep going right, you'll get more and more details and more depth of information on any company, but the summary is all present right at the front. Now there are various things that you want to look at. Let's say you want to see the actual results of the company, you want to see the shareholding, everything is available. If you want to see the base data, you can always click on all data. What we essentially say is we're giving you the right analysis, but all the base data is also available if you want to check the actual results of the company. So how the page is structured is there are various different analyses available at different points in the stock page. If you want to go through one report in a concise form, for that we've created the verdict report, which is a real-time research report that you can generate on any company. So what you can do is you can come here and you can download the report from here, or you can even go to the research report section. And here you can, let's say we're looking at TCS, so I can put TCS here. Let me download this report. So this is creating a real-time report right at this moment for this stock. So it combines all the necessary information from across the page. It sees what is important for this company and in what order, so that will put here. So what's working for the company, what's not working for the company is all put in a very concise manner. When you go down, all the parameters that are summarized upfront will be much more detailed. So why the quality is such, why the results are such. In a very detailed format, you'll get everything. The report for every company will look different because what is important for the company will be put upfront. And the data points, of course, will be different for every company. So it's a real-time report for each and every company that you can generate on the fly. Along with this, you can also check this section which is called the switcher report. Now, verdict is report of one stock. But let's say I'm holding a stock. Let's say I'm holding a sell-rated stock. Should I continue to hold or should I move to another stock? So for example, let's say I have Kaya. I hold 100 shares of this company. What should I do with this? So it's asking, do you want a better recommendation across small caps or across the market? If there was a better recommendation in the sector itself, that would have also come here. So what the switcher report is saying, okay, if you hold a stock, which is the better option that you can invest in, how much you can invest in that particular stock. This is a comparative report. So it will say what is, let's say, not working for one company and why you should switch to another company. So it's saying if you hold 100 shares of Kaya, you should sell that and get into 104 shares of Gabriel India. There are also other options that are available. So there are two other options available. If you want to go across the market, you can even look at Persistent Systems or Mrs. Bector. You can download this report. This will again be a real-time report and it will be comparative reports. What's not working for Kaya and what's working for, let's say, Gabriel India. But now you can't go and look at every stock and say whether, okay, is it a good stock or a bad stock? You want to know which are the top rated stocks across the market, right? For that, I'll introduce the Mojo stock section, which is, let's say, the most, I would say, visited page on Markets Mojo, which are the top rated stocks across the market in the Mojo universe. For a stock to qualify as a Mojo stock, it has to have a high rating, it has to have a buy, strong buy rating, plus the quality of the company has to be green, right? So that becomes a first filter for us, that the quality of the company has to be either good or excellent. After that, there are various filters in terms of the liquidity of the company and the market size. Within the market cap, it should have a certain rating. After all these filters a stock goes through, it comes to an investment committee for review. Our investment committee goes through each and every stock that the system is throwing up. They can't add a stock on their own. They can just say, okay, this stock cannot qualify because there are maybe some things that the numbers are not able to capture right now. There is a news or there is some corporate governance issue that the numbers are not able to catch. So all Mojo stocks are quantitatively assessed, have a high rating, plus have been qualitatively also assessed by our investment committee. To go to Mojo stocks, click on invest and go to top Mojo stocks. Now here you can see all the top rated stocks. This is the top 10 highly rated stocks. You can go to different market caps. Let's say you're looking at mid caps. For example, Ujjivan Small was has a score of 84 right now. Since it was added on 30th November 22, so almost 11 months. In that period, the stock is up 86% versus 18% of mid cap index and 9% of this particular sector. The day the stock becomes a Mojo stock, its performance starts getting tracked on a real-time basis. And again, there will be some stocks which are not done well. Those will also be displayed. It's a completely transparent platform. You'll see all the details upfront here. If you want to see all the stocks together, you can go to the current list. Here you can sort them basis the returns, or you can sort them basis when they became Mojo stocks. So you want to see the latest stock entries, or you can say which are the top rated stocks. You can find all that here itself. Now if you go to the full list section, these are all the stocks which are either currently part of the list or were there in the past. So the ones in white are no longer in the list, but the ones in black are still in the list. So for example, Mastech was a Mojo stock for almost 21 months till April 22. It gave a return of 491% in this period versus a market of 64%. Now, like I said, this is a completely transparent platform. So if you go down, you'll also see the stocks that did not do well. Right? So you'll also see the negative stocks here. But if you see the max loss is around 29%. But the number of reds is much lower than the number of greens, and a lot of reds are bunched up in the -5, -7% range. But the number of greens, if you see, are far larger, and the returns are also much higher in terms of performance. Now again, this is a completely transparent list. You can see this for yourself. You can make your own judgments about the list. Whenever a stock becomes part of the list or goes out of the list, we send you a notification, we send you an email, we also send you an email on a weekly basis with all the changes that have happened in the Mojo stock list. And we also do a webinar every Monday where we discuss the new stocks that have come in and why we selected these stocks, what are the business models of these stocks, and how they have been doing. So this is, like I said, the most sought after section on the Markets Mojo platform. So stock of the month, but essentially is a list, and the list might be 40 stocks, 50 stocks, 30 stocks, depending on the market scenario. We also come out with something called the stock of the month, where we take one stock every month, where our team picks up just one stock from all the available stocks, and that is declared as the stock of the month. Now this is a very detailed analysis, a very deep dive of that one stock. We do much more than the numbers. We do a lot of qualitative assessment in terms of what is favoring the sector, what is favoring the stock, what are the external parameters around the stock. We even speak to the management in a lot of cases to come out with one stock recommendation every month. Now, when we saying stock of the month, it's not only applicable for 1 month. Whenever a stock becomes part of the stock of the month, we start tracking it very closely, and we'll tell you when to exit and why the business case is no longer favorable. We declare a very detailed report on why the stock has been picked. So you go to invest and go to the stock of the month section. So the latest stock of the month is LIC Housing Finance. And if you click here, you can read the detailed report of why this stock was picked as the stock of the month. So what is the investment summary? What is the investment case because of which we picked the stock right now? Why is the stock a good buy right now according to our investment team? Now, again, like I said, it's a very transparent platform. You can see all the past stock of the month reports here, their performance since they became part of the list, what was the investment case at that point of time. And again, if something has closed, you'll see the closed reports, what was the return they gave during that period. Everything is available on the platform itself. So it's the one stock that we pick, and it's picked around the 10th of every month, around that date. So might be 9th or might be 11th, but around the 10th of every month, we will get that one stock in your inbox. And again, we do a very detailed webinar explaining the business case in much more detail about why we picked that one particular stock in that particular month. So we discussed various approaches. For one was the Mojo stock was our top rated stocks, so a basket of 40, 50 stocks. Next is the stock of the month, which is one report is sent out every month. But if you're investing, right, people would invest basis some particular capital that they have. One of the best ways to manage investments, which I also personally follow, is the model portfolio. Now, what model portfolio does is, whenever you're creating a new model portfolio, it'll pick the best stocks at that point of time, depending on the strategy, 10 to 15 stocks, tell you how much to invest in each stock, and create a portfolio for you. And once this portfolio is created, we start tracking it 24/7. Any changes required, we'll tell you, okay, now you sell this stock, and versus that, you can generate a new buy stock. You can add more investments here if you want. You can remove investments. You can create up to 5 model portfolios in your Mojo Professional subscription. This, our main criteria of creating the Mojo model portfolio approaches, it brings the required discipline when investing. Most of the times people lose out because they don't sell on time, right? If you don't sell on time, everything is just paper valuation. We would all have cases where we buy a stock, it goes down, but we don't want to book a loss because that's that inherent psyche. I don't want to book a loss. But stock might be going down for a reason, and because it might come back to its buying price, let's say in a year's time. But in that time, you could have invested in a better stock that not only would have recouped, but would have made high returns also on top of your investment. So it's very important to track your portfolio, track your investments very, very minutely, and that's what a model portfolio does for you. So it's answering all the basic questions: what to buy, how much to buy, when to sell, and once you sell, what to buy after that. So go to invest and go to model portfolio. So let me create a new portfolio. There are 3 portfolio strategies available. Now the pool of the stocks will remain same, but depending on the market scenario and the allocations will change according to the strategy you choose. A very simple process to create a model portfolio. Let's say you want to put 2 lakh rupees. You want to take a moderate portfolio and you generate the portfolio. So it will pick the best stocks at this point of time and create a portfolio. So it will go up to 12 stocks and all the limits are up to. So, depending on the market scenario, sometimes the small caps might be higher, sometimes the large caps might be higher, but depending on the overall allocation levels that we've defined. So right now it's picked 12 stocks across 9 sectors. So this is the recommended portfolio. Right now it is saying put almost 60% in large caps and rest 40% in mid caps. And these are the stocks, and this is the amount, indicative amount that the system is saying one should put. So let me name this portfolio as moderate 2. Okay. So now this is my moderate portfolio and these are the transactions. Now you'll also see the transaction history, the investment history that I've put in, my allocations, and if there's any cash remaining. Once you do the actual transaction, what you can always do is you can come back and edit this, and let's say you bought only, the price that you got was 750, 745. You can update it here and it'll start tracking from that level onwards. You can also add more investment. So let's say I want to add some more money. What it does is it'll go through the portfolio. It'll see, okay, which stocks more can be added depending on the allocation, depending on the current rating of the stock. If you want to take out some money, it'll also guide you from this particular portfolio how much you should reduce your investments. Now, once a sell call is generated, the transaction will automatically get inserted. You'll get an email, you'll get a notification from our side. And you'll also see a banner which will say cash remaining. So once you see that, you can come back and you can generate an alternate. So let's say, let me delete this one stock. So now it will say that I have cash remaining. So I can come here and I can generate advice for this particular cash. It will suggest which stocks to buy. So model portfolio is a great way of managing investment. It's a very good disciplined approach. It will inculcate that habit of following a process and it takes away, the biases or emotions when one is investing. Now, important thing, a model portfolio, what it does is creates a new portfolio right at this point of time. So someone coming on two different dates might have different portfolios, but doesn't mean that the portfolio you created earlier is bad. What it just means is that right now these are top stocks, but the earlier portfolio, we're tracking that portfolio within those 10, 12 stocks. If anything has to be changed, we'll get back to you. But till the time you can continue to hold those stocks. So it's a new portfolio every time, but once you create it, that portfolio starts getting tracked from that point onwards. Now, for people who are looking at short-term calls, we also have a portal called the Trading 80 platform, where we give short-term calls basis their only pure technicals. Now, important thing is that these are technical calls. So, they might be sell on Markets Mojo platform, but they might have a weekly, very short-term call on the trading side. Similarly, they might be, let's say, buy on the platform, but they might have a short-term sell call. So it's very important to distinguish these two platforms. These are not fundamental calls. These are purely technical calls on these products. So go to invest and go to trading calls. And here you can see all the new calls that have come in. So we have either weekly calls or monthly calls. Now, when we're saying weekly, we're not saying that, this is only for a week. We're saying essentially these usually will close within the week, provided the target, the stop loss, or the call changes. Now, you can always follow a call, and after that, whenever there is a change in this particular call, you'll get an alert from our side whether the target is hit or a stop loss is hit. You can see all the past calls here. You can see the performance of these calls, how they did in last 1 month or last 1 week period. And you can, if you're following a call, you can also see my calls and what has been happening on your particular calls. So Trading 80 is for only short-term, pure technical calls. These should not be, combined with the fundamental calls. You always should have a core investment portfolio which is different, and this can be satellite trading portfolio. Now, for people who are looking at mutual funds, like we have rating on every stock, we also have ratings across mutual fund platforms. So any mutual fund you see on the platform is essentially rated on 3 key parameters. First is the return. Now, again, we're not looking at just one period return. We're looking at consistency of performance of the fund within the category versus the benchmark versus the peer average. Second is the risk parameters in terms of the key risk ratios of drawdowns, of liquidity, of, let's say, volatility. And third, and a key factor here, is the portfolio strength. Because at Markets Mojo we can research all the underlying stocks, we use that intelligence to rate the portfolio of the mutual fund. So if you go to the mutual fund section and you go to Mojo rated funds. Now here you'll see all our assessment of the top rated funds in the category. You can click on any fund and you'll get the details of why we're saying this is a buy rated fund or a hold rated fund, and what are the other funds in this particular category in terms of the performance of these funds and the portfolio strength of the fund. So it's a very detailed analysis on every fund, and we're using the Markets Mojo intelligence here to give you the rating also of the portfolio of these funds. The last section we'll cover today is the portfolio. Now, how to create a better portfolio and how Markets Mojo can help you do that. So if you have a portfolio, you can upload your portfolio on the site via multiple parameters. Like you can, so let me go here, let me go to the personal portfolio. You can simply search and add a fund, stock, like you can just add, search and add, let's say TCS. You can put the date, the transaction price, or you can upload from multiple sources, like there's a Markets Mojo Excel, simple Excel format, or you can also go through these different platforms that we put here. Now, once you import your portfolio on Markets Mojo, you will see a lot of analysis here, right upfront of what's happening in these stocks, what are the rating of these stocks. You also get a very comprehensive analysis across 7 dots that we call of returns, risk, liquidity, diversification, quality, valuation, financial trend. Again, the format remains same, that all the summaries on the left and details are on the right. if you're looking at the returns of the portfolio, we're not just looking at the current returns, we're looking at even the past returns. So what you bought, what you sold, what you bought after that, all is put together in the returns of the portfolio. We also create a composite index. So let's say my portfolio is 50% large cap, 30% mid cap, 20% small cap. What do I really compare my portfolio to, right? So for that, we create a composite index which is unique for every portfolio. So like in this particular case, a virtual portfolio will be created of 50% Sensex, 30% BSE mid cap, 20% BSE small cap, and it keeps on adjusting whenever you buy and sell any stock. So let's say you are looking at a particular thing and you're not really sure what it means. You can always click on this information icon. It'll tell you what is on this particular card and why is it important, why you should be looking at this particular card. There are various analysis points here. So our whole idea was to give you the right tool so you can look at your portfolio as a whole and take a decision on what has to be done with your stocks as a whole. Now what you can also do is you can go to the portfolio optimizer. So what portfolio optimizer is doing is how to improve your portfolio. So first it is giving a review of the portfolio like we saw in the portfolio page of what's going right with the portfolio, what has contributed returns, what has not made you returns. Here we look at two important parameters. First is the construction of the portfolio. Now oftentimes people don't give much importance to construction, but this is one of the most important parameters when you're creating a portfolio. The money is made when you put the right amount behind the right stocks. Let's say you have a portfolio of 10 lakh rupees and you put 1,000 rupees in a stock. Now, even if you took the absolute right decision, the stock doubles, you will still make another 1,000 rupees, right? In a 10 lakh portfolio, that will not make any difference. So the allocation becomes very, very important to actually make money from your calls. So like here it is saying that allocation to one stock is 46%, which is very risky. Allocation to this one stock is tail stock. It's so low in the portfolio, it will not make any difference. Next is selection. Of course, if you're investing in the right stocks or not, what is the quality of your stocks, what is the valuation of the stocks you've invested in. So now this is saying the portfolio looks aggressive. It's not saying this is your risk profile, it's saying this portfolio looks aggressive. So if you want to change, let's say I want to have a moderate portfolio. So this is giving a broad parameter, like you only have 6 stocks, so you need to adjust the allocations here. Your allocation of top 3 stocks is very high, which needs to be reduced. So now let's see the stock by stock recommendations. So it's saying out of these stocks, these 2 stocks you can hold, these 3 you need to reduce because you hold a lot in these stocks, and this is one stock that you should sell. Now, let's say for example here it's saying you hold 10 stocks, you should sell 3 and be left with only 7. Now this is a completely DIY platform. Let's say I don't want to hold this stock anymore. I can drag and drop it here in the sell bucket. I can again drag and drop any stock back. And this is saying which stocks you should invest in, by replacing this. So it'll give you multiple options. It's saying any 6 large caps, any of these 3 mid caps. And this is the new portfolio that gets created. So 12 stocks across 8 sectors. When we started, we only have 5 or 6 stocks. This is how the new portfolio will look like. All the allocations are now adjusted. And this is a trade sheet that you can straight away download and send to your broker for execution, or you can use it yourself. So this will tell you how to improve your existing portfolio, how to manage your existing investments better. So for new stock ideas, you can go to Mojo Stocks Stock of the Month. For researching any stock, you can go to the Verdict, Switcher, or the stock page. To manage your own portfolio, you can come to the Portfolio Optimizer, and to invest new money, you can go to the Model Portfolio. So it's a complete suite of all the services to manage your investments better. Now, before we go to the Q&A, I again want to announce the prices of Mojo Professional are going up very soon. We're launching a couple of new products which will take the price up. So if you're looking to subscribe or extend, we have brought back a very, very attractive offer of only 19,999 for 2 years plus 6 months. It's only available for people who are in the webinar. We put the links in the chat, in the description. We'll also send you an email after the webinar is over. So if you're looking to subscribe or extend, please use this because they're very limited slots and this price will not come back again. With that, we'll open the floor for Q&A. First question by Anand: how can I create 1 crore fund within 10 years from equity market? So, that from the equity market. So what you should do is how much money you can invest in, depending on your current situation, and work backwards and put in the right stocks, right? So it should be a stock first approach, first of all. Again, what I really say is you should look at a model portfolio because it creates a portfolio and manages it for you. Depends really how much money you can invest on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. So is it a lump sum investment? Is it a monthly investment? But again, what I would suggest is use the model portfolio approach because it'll guide you every step of the way and how you can achieve this investment. So it really, will come down to see how much money you can invest at different points of time, how much money you can increase in your portfolio at different points of time, and then you'll have to work backwards. From the equity markets over the last, I would say last 10 years, Sensex would have given approximately 12% return. So that should be your baseline to then come back and say how much you need to invest. Next question: how much short-term tax for resident and NRI selling a stock within 1 year? So for everyone, the short-term tax is 15% if you sell within 1 year, and for long-term, like above 1 year, it's 10%. So those are standard capital gains that you have to pay, and this has to be paid separately. And that the rate is same for the residents and non-resident. But what happens is you can net off the profits and losses. So if let's say you made a profit of 100 and you've made a loss of 60 in some stock, what you sold, not your unrealized, it has to be realized profit and loss. That can be netted off, and the remaining you have to pay as taxes. Next question by Vikram: will recording be available for this session? Yes, recording will be available for this section on our website, and we'll also see if we can put it up on YouTube, but on our website it's definitely going to be available. Next question: can you please let us know whether export to spreadsheet will be enabled after running the screener? It is difficult to export to TradingView from watchlist. I created a request and it was closed request to share possibility of having this exports option. This is currently not available, and especially in the screener, because we did not want the data to go out, like someone is downloading the entire data of 4,000 stocks, right? So we don't want that to happen. That's why we've not put it up on the screener or the portfolio. But let me just check internally. Right now I can't promise because we've not given this for a long time, but let me again check internally. Next question: my subscription ends in February 24. Should I still go for this subscription? I would highly encourage to go for this subscription because you will not find these rates again. And if your subscription is ending in February 2024, this will start after that. So it extends your subscription by more than 2.5 years. And again, these prices are not even available on the website, and these have long been stopped. These prices, we brought them back. It's 19,999 for 2 years and 6 months extra, which is a 47% discount. Plus, these rates will be going up very, very soon that you see on the website. So if you're looking to subscribe or extend, please use these links. Sir, is there any screener by which out of total companies can I get Mojo score above 70 to 80 for all company? Okay, so this is not available, but again, we purposely not done this because we believe if you're looking for buy and strong buy stocks, you should go for the Mojo stocks because those are highly rated and they have been assessed by investment committee before coming here. But again, if you're looking for this, there's always a workaround in this screen. You can put all the higher parameters of quality, valuation, financial and technicals, and you'll get a higher rated stock. But still, I would still suggest go for a Mojo stocks because those are highly rated plus assessed by the investment team. Next question. Hi, Mr. Karan. Good evening. Yesterday, I reduced 30% from one of our model portfolios. That time, all the 10 stocks reduced same percentage from the portfolio. But when I tried to add some amount back today, only new 2 stocks suggested with total amount. Why is this so? Can you comment? Oh, okay. So when you reduce the investments, it's essentially because all the stocks are highly rated. So it's not reducing from any one particular stock. It's reducing proportionately. But when you're looking to invest, what it does is it says at this point of time, can I invest more in my particular stocks or do I need to add new stocks? Right. So it's a different approach because like when you create a new model portfolio, again, it's saying right now which are the best investment opportunities, I'll invest in those. So if there were few stocks in your particular portfolio that you could have increased at this point of time, it would have added in those. If not, then it suggests new stocks. So what we're essentially doing is at any point you come, which is the best stock will be given to you. If it's from your portfolio, you'll get that or you'll get a new stock. Next question by Bala. Sir, it is said small cap and mid cap would outperform in holding 3 to 5 years, but only 6 Mojo stocks are there in small caps, whereas 16 and 13 large and mid caps. Also, stock of the month stocks are predominantly large and mid cap. Please share the conflicting view of our knowledge. So, the house view still remains the small and mid cap stocks should do well. But like I said, there are a lot of filter criteria after which the stock comes. We look at liquidity is a very important criteria that we see. And because of that, a lot of small caps might not feature, but there's a lot of rigorous assessment of every stock that becomes part of the Mojo stock and stock of the month. On an overall basis, like on a basket basis, we do believe small and mid caps would do well. But right now, our system is favoring more of mid caps rather than small caps in the system. But large caps will always be around, let's say 40-50% because of the market size anyways. But right now the system is favoring more of mid caps because probably of liquidity or the existing volatilities in the stocks. Next question by Vineet. What are the financial data indicators to watch for undervalued cement stocks so that a company can be taken over by big players, and how do we shortlist them using Mojo Screener? Interesting question. What we are doing essentially not just for cement sector, but for all sectors, we're looking at the broader parameters and what are the trend in these parameters, right? So now what you're asking is a very, very specific cement related question. So we're not looking for something particularly for cement sector. What our system is doing is looking at data which is common for all the companies together in terms of financial trend, in terms of quality, in terms of valuation, and then coming out with a model that is feeding for across the segments. But if you're looking particularly at, let's say, cement sector and which are the stocks that are doing well, you can always use the screener section and use the industry as cement. It'll tell you what is the trending parameters in every particular segment. And again, the trending parameters of financial trend and technicals, I think, are very important. In small stocks, it'll tell you which are the companies which are doing very well. And they might be, let's say, acquisition targets. We don't know about that. But if you look very specific cement, we don't have those. I can't tell you which are those specific parameters to track. But what our system is doing, it looking at the basic data of all companies and doing our in-depth analysis and giving you across the board which are the good stocks to buy. I think those are all the questions. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll have a very interesting session tomorrow on the future trends, which Sunil and Mohit will be conducting. So please join us for that. And again, if you're looking to subscribe or extend, please use the links in your which we'll send in your inbox very shortly.